Hi there, this is Matt Mansfield, and I'm here today to help you attract your ideal clients and get qualified leads online. The best way to attract your ideal clients is to use content, whether that's a blog post or a video or a podcast or a webinar or any of the other types of content online. You can attract your ideal clients by posting it, publishing it, and promoting it. However, a lot of people have trouble coming up with topics, and that's what we're here for today. I'm going to teach you a trick, and I'm going to do it every month for the next year, from March 2015 all the way through February of 2016. We're going to take a look at the calendar and all the different kinds of holidays and events and things that come up every single year that you can use to come up with topics to engage and attract your ideal clients. And when they're there, you'll have an opportunity to convert them into qualified leads. So let's get started with March. In March, it's National Irish American Heritage Month. That's because on the 17th of March, it's St. Patrick's Day. St. Patrick's Day gives you a lot of great opportunities to think about different ideas and different topics that you can create content for leading up to the actual day and even past the actual day. You can do everything from how to party, how to have a good time, how to be safe, how to meet people so that you can celebrate on St. Patrick's Day. You can talk about how to get over your hangover the next day or the dangers of drinking. Whatever your topic is and whatever the subject matter that you are an expert in is, you can talk about St. Patrick's Day and get people to come and visit your site and become qualified leads. Did you know that it's also National Umbrella Month? I find this kind of interesting. I guess we're getting ready for April showers because even though it's March, you have to be ready. And people have celebrated this in an interesting way. On the 13th of March, it's National Open an Umbrella Indoors Day. And the whole goal behind that is to test the superstition and to see if opening umbrella indoors actually does cause bad luck. So there's lots of fun, kind of quirky ideas you can come up with about that. You may want to talk about superstition in business or in your life and things that hold you back and ideas that can propel you forward. Next, we come to another national month for March, which is National Craft Month. And there's several events during March which actually have some really good topics. The second week in March is Crochet Week. All week you can talk about crocheting, and if you happen to be a crafter who crochets or teaches people how to crochet, this is a great week for you. The 4th of March is International Scrapbooking Industry Day, and again, if you are a scrapbooker, perfect day to be out there talking to your ideal clients. The 7th is Sock Monkey Day. How fun are sock monkeys? I love those guys. And you can talk about them and how fun they are. And maybe you can talk about creating sock monkeys to yell at when you're mad at your boss, or whatever other types of topics you can come up with around sock monkeys. They're so much fun and they really do attract attention. 15th to the 21st of March, the third full week of March, is National Button Week. So do you have any fun buttons? Do you have buttons you like to take out and wear? Do you have buttons that you should wear to let people know about your feelings or emotions? If that's what you're trying to help people do, is get out there and be more active in their life, then that's a great topic. If you want to talk about buttons to sell them, then of course it's another topic for that as well. And the 21st of March is National Quilting Day. It's the third Saturday of the month. And if you make quilts, love quilts, want to talk about quilts, want to talk about a family as a quilt, a community as a quilt, a business as a quilt, different patches sewn together, coming together as a whole to create a single vision or reach a single goal, then quilts are a great metaphor for all of that. Now we have some business-oriented topic. The 6th of March is the Employee Appreciation Day, and it's the first Friday in March. This is a great topic to write about. You can talk about how people can appreciate their employees. You can talk about how you appreciate your employees. You could talk about how you'd like to be appreciated as an employee. You can give advice to managers. You can give advice to employees. You can give advice to folks about lots of different topics. On the 10th of March, we have Organize Your Home Office Day. Another great topic if you create organization or help people get organized or sell products that let people get organized. That's another great day for you. The 19th of March is Clients Day. What a great day to talk to your clients and to reach out to the clients you have and the clients you want to have and tell them how you can serve them and what you can bring for their business and their life today. The 19th is also Companies That Care Day. It's the third Thursday of the month, and it talks about companies that want to give back to the community. And this is a great topic, again, from the aspect of why it's important to do that and to talk about it if you are a company that does do that. You can talk about the stories and how you've helped the community. The 20th of March is World Storytelling Day, and it's always on the spring equinox, which is the 20th this year. And it's a great spot for you to tell your business's story. What is your business's story? What's your story? Why are you serving clients like this? Why are you helping folks do what they do? Why are you helping them get confidence? Why are you helping them meet a mate? Why are you helping them get a job? Whatever it is you help people do, tell everybody your story on World Storytelling Day. The 26th of March is Legal Assistance Day, which is a little bit focused, but if you have legal assistance or deal in the legal field and you want to talk to clients and attract them and say, hey, this is something you could do for your legal assistance, then that's a great little day and topic for you to use. And finally, the 29th of March is National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day. What a fabulous topic. People love those mom and pop stories, especially if they're fighting against big box stores or if you're starting up a mom and pop type business. These are small businesses. They're solopreneurs just like us, and they go out there every day just like us to make a buck and to succeed. So National Mom and Pop Business Owners Day is the time to talk about their stories, their strategies, their successes, and even their failures. Next on our list are some quirky fun days. 14th is National Pi Day. Why? Because it's 314 and pi starts with 3.14. So you could do all kinds of fun little puns around National Pi Day and ask people what they think about a number that's sort of imaginary that never has an end. What's it like to try to calculate something like that? And so you might want to think about that and think about how a pie is also a pie that you could eat. So there's lots of fun things you could do in there. The 14th is also International Ask a Question Day. What a fun thing to do. Asking your clients and potential clients questions is the best way to learn things about them. Why don't you ask them to ask you a question? And then on that day, you could answer it. Or you could ask them to ask you that question on that day, and then you could answer it in a follow-up email or set up a meeting with them or just write a blog post about it. What a fabulous entree into a conversation. The 21st of March is National Common Courtesy Day. Boy, could we all use a little more common courtesy. And it's excellent to talk about how people interact with each other, both in their personal lives and in their professional lives. It's an excellent entree into a bunch of different topics. The 22nd is National Goof Off Day. Now, if you don't feel like writing for that day, I totally understand that because it's the Goof Off Day. But if you want to talk about goofing off, or you want to talk about the importance of taking time off, or you want to talk about how goofing off can help your business and help your personal life, then you should definitely talk about goofing off and even ideas of what to do when you're goofing off. That's a great topic opener. Lastly, in the quirky category, we have on the 27th of March, Quirky Country Music Song Titles Day. I know, it's kind of wacky, but if you've heard all those really wacky shack country music songs that have, titles like "My brother ran off with my wife," and "My dog bit my leg," and "I'm really sad and blue," and that's the name of a song. Well, that's funny, and it's a great thing to share, and it's a great way to open a conversation and say, well, sometimes you feel like that, and sometimes it seems like that's happening, but maybe life isn't so bad, or maybe life is that bad and you need to make a change. So, or my business is going into the toilet, or it's soaring above the clouds, but I just don't recognize why it's doing so. I don't celebrate these small victories along the way. These are all great things you could talk about using quirky country music song titles on that day. Our next March month topic is National Nutrition Month. And yes, March is National Nutrition Month. It's also National Frozen Food Month, National Peanut Month, National Noodle Month, and National Caffeine Awareness Month. Well, I'll tell you, if you talk about nutrition or food at all, this is a bonanza. And wait till you hear about the different days. The 1st of March is National Peanut Lovers Day. This is a fabulous topic. Everybody loves peanut butter, loved the comfort of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches growing up, unless you're allergic to it, in which case it can be deadly. So you could talk about nostalgia and comfort, and you could talk about danger and awareness. So there's a lot of different topics that you could approach using either business or personal experiences and bring that to the fore for your content. On the 3rd, you have National Pancake Day. Well, pancakes stack, and you want to also stack ideas, and you want to stack money, and you want to stack up friends, whatever it is. But they also are sweet, and they're round, and they're fun, and they come in lots of flavors. So talking about National Pancake Day could open up a bunch of metaphors for you to use. On the 6th, it's Oreo Cookie Day. Well, here's a good question. Do you like to dunk it, or do you like to eat it plain? Do you like to open it, or do you like to eat it whole? Boy, there's a lot of questions you could use just to open up a conversation and show your clients that there's a different way to approach the same act in almost everything that they do. Cereal Day, March 7th. Boy, cereal is such a big topic. There's so many types. There's so many things they're made out of. There are so many flavors. There's so many brands. Cereal, the history of cereal, where cereals come from, what kind of cereals to eat around the world. All these things you could use as a metaphor for diversity and how diverse the world really is, and how what you like changes through your life. What you like to eat when you're a kid changes when you become an adult. And that's an important topic as well. The 8th is National Peanut Cluster Day. I'm not sure what to make about that, but maybe you could talk about clustering or gathering together as groups. You can probably come up with a couple of great topics with that. The 11th, again, a very focused topic, but it's Registered Dietitian Day. And if you happen to be a registered dietitian, this is the day you want to tell people about what you do and why you celebrate the things you do to help them and why you love doing it. On the 12th, it's Popcorn Lovers Day. It's the 2nd Thursday of March. Popcorn Lovers Day, boy, who doesn't like popcorn? And it comes again in a lot of flavors. Popcorn, you could talk about movies. You could talk about popcorn at home. You could talk about the change in how we used to make popcorn in air-blown machines to you doing it in microwaves as a metaphor for change and how things go over the years and how they change from one thing to the next. And maybe it's not bad. Maybe it is bad. Maybe it's something that you just have to accept. And change happens in your personal life and your business. And that's a great topic to talk about there. National Potato Chip Day. On the 14th of March, we celebrate National Potato Chip Day. I'm surprised it's only one day because you can't eat just one potato chip. So I think that would actually bring into a lot of topics that talk about addiction and obsession and crunchiness and ridges versus flat and what kind of person are you, and there's different kind of people and there's different kinds of businesses and there's different kinds of clients. Lots of things to talk about in there again. Well, the 15th to the 21st of March is one of my favorite weeks that I never knew about, American Chocolate Week. It's always the 3rd full week of March, and boy, chocolate. Chocolate is such a dense topic. There's so many kinds of chocolate. There are chocolate snobs. My next door neighbor loves different kinds of chocolates, but only good ones. only ones that come from Europe. And it's very interesting to look at chocolates. Say, are you a milk chocolate person, a dark chocolate person? Do you like nuts in your chocolate? Do you not? What kind of form do you like your chocolate in? Do you like to have a bar? Do you like to have little kisses? Do you like it when it's wrapped with peanut butter? Then you can combine it with National Peanut Butter Lovers Day, or National Peanut Month. And there's a lot of different ways to play around with chocolate. Chocolate goes into love. Chocolate goes into satisfaction and contentment. Chocolate is sensual. Chocolate is just comfort and nostalgia, and it brings us all back. Chocolate is s'mores out at a summer fire pit. And so there's so many topics you can get into with chocolate, and I definitely advise you to dive in. The 19th of March is National Poultry Day. Woohoo! How exciting is that? Poultry. Well, you could talk a lot about chickens. You could talk about being a chicken in your life and in business. You could talk about chickens and health. You could talk about why chicken is a great food to eat, and here are a bajillion recipes for chicken if you want to get varied in how you eat it. So there's a lot to talk about there on National Poultry Day. The 19th is also National Chocolate Caramel Day. Again, not really sure what you can make of that, but like chocolate caramels, so you might as well just celebrate it anyway. The 21st is Corn Dog Day, and it's the third Saturday in a month. Who doesn't love corn dogs, those fun little foods on a stick? I once actually saw at the Iowa State Fair a hot dog on a stick, and it was called a naked corn dog. I thought that was really funny. Anyway, so the Corn Dog Day, you could talk again about nostalgia, growing up, kids, being wrapped in a topic, being hidden away from the world, being afraid to go out and expose yourself. Lots of great topics to dig into around Corn Dog Day. Waffle Day is on the 25th of March. And if you think about waffling, it's not just a food, it's also going back and forth and changing your mind. It's an excellent topic to dive into, especially if you deal with people who are trying to figure out what to do with their life, what to figure out what to do with their business, how to make decisions, how to be productive. Don't waffle. Straightforward and get things done. The 26th of March is National Spinach Day. National Spinach Day is a really fascinating day because you could talk about things people hate. You know, there's so many people that don't like to eat spinach. I think they're crazy because spinach is delicious, but it also depends on how it's prepared. So sometimes you have to accept it, though, because it's healthy. And you might like it if you try it a different way. Spinach is a great topic to get into what people like and what they don't like, and trying new things, and sometimes giving up things that even though you know it's good for you, you just don't like it. So spinach is a great entree into all those different topic ideas. And finally, we wrap up March and food with the 28th of March. It's Something on a Stick Day. Now, I talked about corn dogs already, but Something on a Stick Day just cracks me up. I went to the Iowa State Fair, as I mentioned before, and at the Iowa State Fair, right at the front, on the billboard, when you're walking in, the advertisement for the fair was 28 things on a stick. And we went around that fair and we tried to find all 28 things. We found pizza on a stick. We found soda on a stick. We found hot dogs. We found corn dogs. We found pork chops. We found all kinds of food on a stick. So that's a really fun topic. What kind of food would you eat on a stick? What would you use a stick for? What if you just had a stick? What could you build from scratch? There's lots of things you could talk about with sticks and how they can be even a bridge over a river for little ants. So maybe I'm going a little far there on with a stretch, but National Something on a Stick Day is just a fun topic to talk about. And if you get creative, it could be a really great way to attract folks. Now, March is also National Women's History Month, and there's a number of days during the month that celebrate women and girls. The week of the 1st through 7th is Women in Construction Week. So if you know anybody in construction, you want to talk about women who are getting into careers that are non-traditional or used to be considered non-traditional for women, this is a great entree into that topic. The 2nd through the 8th of March is Women in Aviation Worldwide Week. It goes from the Monday before the 8th to the Sunday after of every March. And if you, again, want to talk about women in different types of careers and the types of strides women are making in the world today, or the types of barriers that they're hitting, this is a great entree to go ahead and let people know that this is what you know about it and you could help them if they want to move forward. The 8th to the 14th is Universal Women's Week. That's a great time to talk about women, women's topics, all kinds of things that focus on women and what they're doing in their personal lives and what they're doing in their careers. It all kicks off with International Women's Day on the 8th of March. International Women's Day. That's a topic that you can really dive into to talk about so many things. Women in the workforce, women CEOs, women as community leaders and in politics, motherhood, women who stay in the home, women who take on non-traditional jobs, as I mentioned earlier. There's just so many topics you can dive into there that you really should have no problem attracting the folks you're trying to reach. The 9th is Barbie Day, the day that the doll was introduced in 1959. Now, whether you love or hate Barbie, there's a lot to talk about there. If you think Barbie is an inappropriate image to have girls see and maybe even look up to, then you could talk about that. If you think Barbie is harmless and fun and you have a lot of nostalgia to talk about Barbie and what you used to do when you were young, or if you sell antiques and you have old Barbies and you want to tell people about them, then this is the day to go ahead and do that. The 10th of March is Women and Girls HIV/AIDS Awareness Day, a fabulous time to open up the door to conversations about health and wellness, not just about HIV and AIDS, but about all different types of topics. The 12th is Girl Scouts Day. It's the anniversary of the day that the Girl Scouts were founded. And it's a strong topic if you want to talk to girls, or if you want to look back on what you used to do when you were younger, or if you want to take some lessons that you learned when you were a Girl Scout, or lessons that you'd like to teach Girl Scouts today, or that lessons that grown women can learn from Girl Scouting. All kinds of great, interesting topics can come out of that day. And the 17th is Campfire Girls Day. Similar to the Girl Scouts, lots of good topics that can come out in a similar way. And the 31st is an interesting day, National She's Funny That Way Day. And essentially, it's a day to celebrate the funny women in your life who make you laugh and just make you enjoy life and who make you feel that you can enjoy life. And it's a day for women to realize that they can relax and let go and be funny and humorous and not have to be up to everybody's standards all the time. I wish men had a day like that too. March is also National March into Literacy Month. Get it? And there's a lot of fun events with this. So if you deal with anything that has to do with books or writing or creating or selling books or book topics, this is a great time to dive into it. The 1st through 7th, the first week of the month, is Read an eBook Week. And it's also Return the Borrowed Books Week. So some couple of good topics in there. Read an ebook week. Well, for example, I notice that whenever I'm reading a book, an ebook, that when I get to 62% or so, all of a sudden the book rushes to the end. Isn't that interesting? I never really noticed that until I started reading ebooks, that the pace in that last quarter or so or third of the book is much faster. And I think that was a really interesting thing that I only would have realized if I saw that percentage number in an ebook. And I think that is something that you think about when you create content, that sometimes the pace at the end needs to really lead up to a conclusion in an exciting kind of way, whether you write fiction or nonfiction. Return the Borrowed Books Week is a very hot topic for me. I hate when people take my books and don't give them back, but it's also about trust and being able to loan things out and bring them back and talk about ways that you could even barter as a business and get different kinds of materials and time and products and services because you barter. The 2nd to the 6th is Newspaper and Education Week. A fine time to take a look at topics in your newspaper. An excellent time to take a look at what newspapers say and look at the headlines of the day and see what topics you can pull out of that. How do they relate to the people you're trying to attract? How do those topics affect them in their personal or their business life? It's a great entree into certain topics that you might not normally talk about because you don't talk about current events on an ongoing basis. And newspapers are a great resource to find interesting insights into those topics. The 2nd of March is Dr. Seuss Day. I love Dr. Seuss, and it's a great day for you to be a little quirky if you want to try writing like Dr. Seuss, if you want to try using his intonation and using his language and the kind of silly, fun way he used to get across his points. Dr. Seuss is an excellent model to use in order to look at how to talk to both children and adults in a meaningful way. The 4th of March is National Grammar Day, and this is a day that we look at grammar. And it's also a day to look at how we feel about grammar. Are we rigid or are we loose? Does it matter? Does it matter in business if people type the way that they text? All the changes that are happening, LOLs, text talk, text speak, shortened sentences, wrong punctuation. Does it matter if you're getting your point across? This is a great time to talk about that. Poetry Day is on the 21st of March. And Poetry Day is a fun time to play with poetry. Write a haiku. Write a poem. Talk about your favorite poem. Talk about what it meant to you or to your business. Talk about your favorite poet or poetess. Talk about folks who make you want to write poetry because you love them as a client or as a person or as a wife or a child so much. Poetry Day gives you an entry into all of those. And finally, we have on the 30th, Pencil Day. Boy, you remember back to pencils when we were allowed to make mistakes and you could still erase them? I think pencils are great. And even though I don't write with them as much anymore, my kids still love using them, even though my oldest is a senior in high school. I think pencils are fun. They totally bring me back to childhood and make me feel nostalgic. I love sharpening them, and sharpening your pencil is a fabulous metaphor for sharpening your skills, both in your personal life and your business life. Being able to erase your mistakes, or at least being able to deal with them, is another thing to talk about when you have pencils in mind. So Pencil Day can help you bring all those topics to the fore. The 1st through the 7th of March is Celebrate Your Name Week, and there's a ton of really fun topics here. The first day, on the March 1st, is Namesake Day. It's a day you ponder your name. What's the story that your name tells? You could also do this for your business name. Was your business named for a reason, and what brought that reason? Is it hard to live up to a name? Is it hard to live down to a name? Do you have an embarrassing name? How have you lived with that during your life? Do you have a proud name? Do you have a name that you feel you don't live up to? These are different types of topics that you could talk about on Namesake Day. The next day, the 2nd of March, is Fun Facts About Names Days. And this is when you could look up some interesting tidbits about names. What does a name mean? Where did it come from? How many other people in the world have your name? Search for it on the line. See if it's interesting. See how many variations there are of your name. My name is Matthew, and there are Matts, and there are Matties, and there are Matthews, and there are tons of different ways people say it. Matt Mansfield is one of the most common names in the world. When I search for myself on Google, there's a lot of competition. So there's a lot of interesting ways to talk about what comes up. I could do a whole post on Google and searching and the fact that there's a lot of Matt Mansfields. In fact, I think I'm going to put that in my list right now for a future post. The 3rd of March is Unique Name Day. And this is a day when you can salute your friends, your loved ones, your acquaintances, folks who have a unique and fun and interesting name. Talk about a celebrity's child and a funky, fun name that they were given. And talk about how names create a personality. And are many people with interesting and unique names unique themselves? Or does a name not have that kind of power over them? What's the funniest name for a company you ever saw? What's the funniest name for a product? What are some goofs that people did with names? Like the Nova, which meant no go in another language. There's so many fun facts and interesting things about unique names. The fourth is Discover What Your Name Means Day. And this is a time to look for the definition of your name. But don't just take the library or the dictionary or whatever you find online. Use your own definition. Make it your own. Decide for yourself what it means and proudly proclaim to the world that my name means this and this is the type of person I am. The fifth is a really fun day. It's Nametag Day. And it basically says, or whatever you're doing, wear a hello, I'm blank name tag and put your name in there. You could say blank. You don't have to use your own name if you want to do something fun, but put your name tag on and let people say hi and let them know who you are, even without having to come up to you. It's a good way to talk also about people who are too shy to come up to other people and talk about how to meet people, either at networking events in business or at events in social realm where you go out on blind dates and you go out to mixers to meet other people. So a name tag can be a metaphor and an entree into lots of fun and juicy topics. The 6th of March is Middle Name Pride Day. How fun is that? Everybody's got a middle name. Sometimes people don't want to tell them what it is. It takes a lot of honesty and probably a bit of courage to tell people. But if you are embarrassed by your middle name, tell people what your middle name is. Tell them what it meant to you your whole life. Tell them why your initials are embarrassing because of the 3 letters in your name, because of your middle name. Tell them what your middle name means. Tell them that maybe you wish you had had your first name as your middle name and why. Why do we even have them? Such an interesting topic. And the last day in Celebrate Your Name Week is Descendants Day, where you look at the names, the branches of your family tree, and you go out there and you find out where your name came from. Did it change? And are there branches of your family with different names? It's a great day for you to go out and explore who you are and where you came from. And it's a good day for people to look back at who they are and where their family came from. And if it's a business, how that family in that business grew, how the people in the business went from, the beginning of a startup to a large company, hopefully, or even a smaller company, and talk about the evolution of that family, of the people you work with. And if you don't like your name at all, there's always March 27th, which is National Joe Day. And that's a day when we celebrate the name Joe, where you could go around and tell everyone your name is Joe, and you can act like a Joe, get a cup of Joe, or whatever other Joe-related topics you want. So on that day, if you don't like your name, just call yourself Joe. March also has some calendar-oriented days. On the 8th of March, it's Daylight Savings Time, and that's when we have to spring 1 hour ahead. It's also Check Your Batteries Day, a very good time for you to check things in your life that you need to make sure are up to date. It's a good time to talk about, is your will up to date? Are all your payments and your credit up to date? Is your business up to date? Is your business plan up to date? Is your relationships with all the people you know up to date? What needs to be brought up to date in your life, both personally and professionally? That's a great opportunity. Checking Your Batteries Day could be Checking Anything Day. And because it happens whenever you spring forward, it's a reminder that you need to do a little bit of spring house cleaning on what's going on in your life. The 9th of March is actually Napping Day. It's the Monday after Daylight Saving Time goes into effect. And you could talk about napping, why you need a little downtime in life, both from business and personal things, why it's important to take a break and reassess during a process, during a relationship, during anything that happens in your personal or professional life. The 20th of March this year is the Spring Equinox, the day when the day and nighttime are equal. And it's an interesting kind of day to talk about finding balance in your life. It's the kind of day where you think, this is one of those 4 times a year events. Let me take stock and see if I'm balanced. Am I taking care of myself? Am I taking care of others? Am I taking care of business? Look at the equinox. take the word equa and think equal and think about the balances in your life and how you can reach a good balance with all the responsibilities you have on your plate. And of course, you could talk about all of those balances to your clients and attract them to come to your site because they have lots of things they're juggling too, and reaching balance is a very hot topic. There's also a bunch of days in March where I'm calling it could be worse days. The 15th of March is the Ides of March, and if you think you're having a bad time at that point, think about Caesar and how he walked into his Senate and got stabbed in the back by his best friend. So the Ides of March is a good day to think about what could be going wrong instead of what really is happening in your life. Try to put things in perspective, both in your business life and in your personal life, and that could really help your clients figure out what they need to do next to get themselves into or out of a situation that they're in. The 20th of March is the International Day of Happiness. So you can't be happy all the time, but what could be worse? Not being happy at all. There's so many things you could talk about being happy and what happiness is. Happiness is not, as I mentioned, being happy all the time. You can't accomplish that in your life or in your business. And your clients need to see that and realize it and understand what it means to them. And reaching goals and looking at short-term types of accomplishments and achievements is a great way to achieve little bursts of happiness during your day. Of course, if you don't want to be happy no matter what, the 20th of March is also Alien Abduction Day. So hey, if you're not happy on Earth, go somewhere else and enjoy it there. So Alien Abduction Day, what an interesting topic to talk about. Are aliens real? What would happen if you talked to an alien? What if you imagined that you were talking to an alien and telling them your problems, and they had absolutely no idea what you were talking about because they have no context, but they're trying to understand it? How would you explain it? How could you make yourself clear? Would your problems seem small to them, or would they seem large? In both business and your personal life. These are perfect topics to dive into on Alien Abduction Day. The 23rd of March is Near Miss Day. Now this is a fun one. It commemorates March 23rd of 1989, the day when a huge asteroid passed by the Earth and missed us by just a little bit of a margin. What a fabulous topic. I could think about all kinds of things you talk about here. Near misses, both for bad and for good. Near misses not meeting your goals, coming close to where you need to be in your personal and business life. Thinking about how if you miss, maybe you got far enough and how you could celebrate that. Or if you missed, what can you do next time to reach that goal? And on the positive side, sometimes you miss opportunities it's just meant to be. And you have to take a positive outlook on it because you can't control it. If you miss the opportunity, whether it's a date or a business deal, then you can't go back in time and change it. You just need to be able to move forward. So Near Miss Day brings out a lot of those types of topics. And my favorite little day at the end of It Could Be Worse of March is the 30th. Grass is always browner on the other side of the fence day. Did you have a decision to make and you chose to stay where you are? And it was the right decision? Sometimes not changing is the right decision. Even though it seems like it's much braver to go and do the new thing, whether it's a business opportunity or a personal type of, reaching out to a relationship or to new friends or to those types of things, you sometimes stay where you are. And sometimes it's the braver choice. And it's the right choice in the long run. And you need to celebrate that. And you need to let people know that it's okay to make a choice knowing that the grass can be browner on the other side of the fence. And that's what that day is for. And my last day I'm going to talk about in March is on the 26th. And ironically, it really deals with all of these days we've been talking about, which is make up your own holiday day. And here you could talk about what would you do if you could make a holiday? What kind of holiday would you celebrate? What are you celebrating in your lives? What would you remember? What would you mourn? What types of things go through your head during that time of year when it comes around, during that day when the anniversary of some event hits? That brings up a tremendous amount of topics for you to talk about, both personal and business. And it's a great way to wrap up the month of March. Happy creating!